But let's get to Nelly. Y'all, Nelly said that he went ahead and married Ashanti because he did not want her to be a baby mama. And I just kind of feel like that's the only reason you married her, because you didn't want her to be a baby mama. I don't feel like they should have got married if that's the case. If you only married her because you didn't want her to be a baby mama, which is based on some imaginary negative meaning put behind, the name of a woman. So Nelly admits he rushed to marry Ashanti to prevent her from being labeled a baby mama. I'm sorry, y'all. I know, I'm not from that standpoint, but I know a lot of baby mamas and I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem.
Were you and your wife's initial reuniting, was it at the Verses?
This is the thing. When I went to Versus, I had somebody with me.
Right.
But
I'm saying, but you guys shared the stage, and the internet was like, "Oh shit, they're in the same place at the same time." Like,
I didn't want it tense.
Right.
When I walked in, her mother had saw me, and I knew that mom was going to go back and let her know that I was in the building.
Right.
We was here to celebrate with these brothers.
Of course.
Two of my cats,
yep,
Joe and Ja, and to celebrate their music. So I didn't want it tense, and we didn't even talk. I just went over. We got a hug, break the ice, and boom. And we didn't talk for probably another almost 8 to 9 months to a year. We didn't have a conversation. That was that. But everything happens for a reason.
I think that's awesome. I think it's so dope. And by the way,
so you didn't see her across the stage at Versus and decide that you was going to get that old thing back. That's not what happened. Okay.
Kudos to you guys figuring out how to hide a wedding. How hard was that for that not to get out until after it happened?
Well, once
you and your wife
found out that we found out that she was pregnant, it was just like, I didn't want this to be, I don't want to say like
a child out of wedlock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you guys are probably already planning,
but we hadn't talked about it
yet.
We hadn't talked about any of that yet. I hadn't, but I was like, yo, you know what? Let's just knock this out because we're going to be doing so much and everything's moving so fast. And I didn't want to, I didn't want her to be, a baby mama. Found out that
I didn't want her to be a baby mama. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, y'all. But I would want you to marry Ashanti because you spent a long time without her and you realize that you really want to be with her and you want to legitimize the relationship because you love her and you got her, you got her back after all of these years. I would think you would marry her because of who she is to you, not because she got pregnant. Y'all are too fucking old to be getting married just because a bitch got pregnant. That's wild to me that he would admit it. But it's funny because I think sometimes people don't know when they're saying something that's wrong, right? Or that can be taken a certain way. You think that, that shows I cared about her because I didn't want her to be a baby mama. But what it sounds like to me is that if she had not gotten pregnant, you would not have married her. That's what that sounds like to me. Like, is it just me? Like, that's what it sounds like to me. You would not have married her if she did not get pregnant. After all of this time getting back with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's weird. I always feel like it's weird when women want babies and want marriage and they have the babies before they get married. And I'm not talking about younger women. I'm talking about these old women that have, not old, but you 40 something years old. You didn't live your young life. You did it the right way. And then you wait until you're older and now you want to have a baby. Great. But it seems as if you don't have to get married just because you want to have a baby. And if you want to get married first. That way the marriage is solidified. To me, this scene, like he said, you did it simply because she got pregnant and because it looked better, not because it was something you actually wanted to do. And if it's not something that you actually want to do, you're going to regret it and you're going to make her regret it. But I guess we'll see how it all plays out. I'm going to just tell y'all right now, Nelly's not aging well. Let's move on. He's not aging well. Be safe. Be safe out here.